Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome to episode 17 of our Inventions modded Minecraft Let's Play series. If you recall, last episode we began working on applied energistics and just getting the basics down and kind of semi-automated. Since then, I've been running this quite a bit, and I haven't been running this that much, but mainly just getting these processors all done. The way I ended up setting this up is the bottom only accepts the printed silicon. The sides will accept our redstone, silicon, certus, diamond, and gold, and then the top will only accept the printed circuits for when we make the finished products. So right now it's making some more logic processors. Basically we'll put the presses in manually, that's not a big issue, but then we can just throw in ingredients and make, big bulk orders at a time. So it's basically the way I've got it set up, and it's made enough that we can go ahead and proceed with applied energistics. So the first thing that we're going to want to make is going to be a controller. ME controller, and we're going to need that engineering processor, that pure fluix, and then the skystone. So to get our skystone, we're going to need some coal dust and then just some smooth stone. So let's go ahead and get ourselves, I think I've got some, not in here. Actually, I'm kind of curious, can we scan this stuff? No. That's too bad. Alright, let's take a look. We'll grab... Well, I don't really need 42 of it. But I'll actually make a bit of this, because we're going to need it as we progress. Actually, I think I've got smooth stone in here. Let's take a look. Yeah. 48 sounds good. So let's go ahead and lay this stuff out. Get 16 skystone. Okay. Now we're good to go, I do believe. We'll just need our engineering processors. And for right now, we'll go ahead and we'll just start with one controller. That'll be fine. And we'll add on to it as we need to. Oh, we need to smelt these, that's right. And these do scan. Oh, nice. So let's scan one of these. Okay. And that way we can go ahead and make those. Now we won't be able to make the smelted ones automatically, but I'll take the unsmelted. That's not an issue at all. Okay. And we'll get our controller made. And there we go. So now we can start expanding on our system a bit and actually getting into the meat of applied energistics. So let's put this... Yeah, we'll put it right here for now. Not too picky on the setup right now. So there we go. These do change. Okay, they slowly change colors. I'm not sure with this texture pack if they change color or not. It's not as vibrant as the Sphax, but that's okay by me. So the next thing that we're going to want is, let's go ahead and get ourselves a terminal. We'll go ahead and make the ME crafting terminal. I don't assume that we'll be able to make the illuminated panels, or automate, or scan the panels. Let me go grab some glowstone really quick, because I know we're going to need a bit of that. And we don't have any... Oh, we don't have any certus left in here, do we? Yes, we do. Cool. Couldn't remember. We need to get this pick enchanted, actually, as well. I mean, I guess it's not too big of an issue since we have the Blaze farm, or the Blaze creator set up. One thing I do need as well is redstone. Grab a little bit of that. Okay. So now we should be good to go. Let's grab a bit of these, a bit of this, a bit of that, and that. And we'll go ahead and get our illuminated panels. No, we won't. I lied. What are we missing? Is it iron? Oh, I thought I had some iron on me. I did, I think, and then whenever I clicked on that, I threw it in there, like before the episode or something. Okay. So now let's get this crafted. Alright. We'll get one set of those for now. That'll be fine. I actually need some wood. Let's see. We'll get this. And oh, that's right, we need the standard terminal. So we're gonna have to make these formation and annihilation cores. Whoops. Not too bad. We're gonna need some fluix. Oh, fluix dust. You know what? I think all I have is pure fluix. That's not an issue though. Let's see, we'll need our charge Certus, and I tell you what, let me throw another stack of that in there so we can start charging it. And we'll grab ourselves grab that. And then nether quartz. We'll get a stack of that. We should be good to go. So we'll just throw this all in the water here. Here we go. And we'll get this sag milled up. These fluix crystals. I really wish we could scan these. I'm hoping that they'll put out an update at some point and we'll be able to scan some of this stuff that we're not able to at the moment. Alright, that'll be fine to get us started. And we'll get our annihilation cores. Let's just get a couple crafts of that. My inventory's all full. And oops. We want our formation cores. Okay. And then we'll get our terminal. And then finally our crafting terminal. And of course the reason we want this is so that we can have it craft, or have a crafting table built into our terminal. So we'll just bring this out for right now and set our terminal up right there. So if we click on it, you know, we don't have anything in the system just yet, but we will fairly soon. So with that, so the next thing that we're going to want is going to be our ME drives. That's a work in progress. Everything in this pack is a work in progress, I think. Okay. So we'll start with just one of these. We don't need too many of these to get started. And we'll put it, yeah, right here is fine. So we're just going to plug in. And keep in mind that you have a limited number of channels So right now we're using 2 channels on this line. Since we have glass cable right now instead of like a dense cable, we can only bring out 8 channels from each side of this. But eventually we'll make it so that we're bringing out 32 on this. So just a heads up on that. And the next thing that we're going to want to work on is some drive storage. So we're going to go, I think initially with this pack we're going to go with the 4Ks. So we'll need 3 of these 1Ks to get started with our first one. So let's go ahead and we're going to get 3 4Ks, I think. And we could make a 16K, but really I think a few of these 4Ks are going to be plenty for us to get us going. Let me grab just a couple more pieces of redstone here. Well, that's not really what I meant to do, but that's okay. We'll do that. Alright. And our 4K. So there we go. We got our 3 4K storage components. Now we do have to change this over into a cell in order to use it. So right here it's just redstone, quartz glass, and iron. And you know what? We need more quartz glass. I knew that was probably going to happen fairly soon. But we got nether quartz dust at the ready. And do I have glass? I don't have glass on me. Okay. Alright, I'm going to throw this and this and this in there. Make some space. Alright. So we'll get a bit of this. 48 sounds good to me. We'll get our 4Ks. So there we go. We got those 3. And we'll throw them into here. Now if you notice it says there's currently 0 of 63 types and 0 of 4096 bytes used. And what that means is, you know, 4096 is the byte limit on a storage cell, and it can hold up to 63 different item types. So say Certus would use up 1 type, Fluix would use up 1 type, and then Certus, I'm not sure the exact byte usage, but if we throw this in here, say we threw this Certus into there, it's going to go into this ME drive, and those 8 pieces of Certus took 33 bytes. So these 4Ks, I mean, they're going to fill up kind of fast, but it's good to get us started with. So that's the main thing that I'm looking for. Now, let's look here. We're going to go ahead and make one of these cell workbenches. So we should, oh, you know what we don't have wool. But I think I may have some wool in here. Well, just need 2 pieces. I need to get some more wool. Slowly work through like all of that. Okay, so we'll get our cell workbench. And we'll set this down. Right here is fine. And we're going to take our ME drive out. And we're going to put it into here. And we're going to tell it to partition the storage. Oh, NEI. And so now we can see that it's got Certus quartz in it, and what this means is it can only accept Certus quartz at the moment. And we're going to go ahead and tell it can also take annihilation cores, formation cores, engineering, calculation, logic. We'll tell it to take quartz glass, illuminated panels, nether quartz dust, quartz fiber, Fluix dust, cable, and we'll grab this back and we'll throw it into there. And if you notice, it's turned orange. Basically, whenever the colors change, green means it can still accept items and it can still accept types of items. Orange means that it can no longer accept types of items, but it can still accept items. It still has storage space in it. And the reason this is orange is because we've partitioned this with precise specifications that it can only take those items. So it's not going to accept any additional item types. And then once they turn red, it means that their bytes are filled and they're not going to take any more items at all. So just keep that in mind. Then we can just throw all of this into there and get it out of our inventory. And there we go. Now if you notice, now it's up to 421 bytes used. A lot of that's because the more items of a type that, or more types of items that you throw into there, the more space that it's going to take. So for example, right now it's at 421. If we took and we threw in, say, one calculation processor, it's still at 421. It didn't change at all. However, if we went in and we took out, say, all the logic processors and looked, it's at 383, and we threw in just one of these, it just jumped to 415. So, you know, most of your byte usage is going to come from just large amounts of items. So if we took and we threw 63 types of items in all three of these 4K storage cells, they're not going to hold much at all. So that's the reason I partition these smaller ones especially, because otherwise you're going to use up all your bytes just putting your items in there. So all those stacks and stacks of stuff that we just put in there was only like 30 bytes, but that's because it's been partitioned to you know, only accept those specific items, and you know, we're not using up a ton of bytes to do that. Now I am going to add pure fluics to this list as well, and we'll see what that gets us on the byte usage. So now we're up to 489. So quite a bit of bytes used, but that's probably going to be the last thing that I add to that. 13 types, that's plenty, and you know, all of this is now stored in that one ME drive, and we can access it from any terminal that we so desire. So then this one we're going to take, and we're going to tell it can take glowstone, nether quartz, iron. That's good for now, and we'll add some other stuff to it in a minute. So there we go. So we've got all of our stuff stored into this ME drive, and or to these couple ME drives. Now things like cobblestone, you're going to want to add, you know, if you're going to do it with a drive, you'll want to make a rather large ME drive, because you're going to generally have a lot of cobblestone. But what we're going to do, let me throw this in there, and let's go ahead and make ourselves a ME storage bus. So we're going to need a piston, a sticky piston, and one of these ME interfaces. Now these are very, very, very important. You'll be making a lot of these, you know, as it goes, as you go through the pack, or as you go through applied energistics and stuff. So let me go grab a couple pistons. Okay, let me get some rubber. I need to actually scan a sticky piston really quick. Okay. Actually scan rubber too if I haven't already done so. Not for sure if I have or not. It's hard to remember what all items that you've scanned. Sticky piston. And rubber. Just so we've got it on hand. In this pack, I feel like it's pretty much negated any desire to go mining. You don't really have to. Now, we will set up a quarry fairly soon. I wanted to get the AE system set up before we did that, so we could pipe everything into the system. But okay, I don't feel like we need, you know, a ton of resources or whatnot from that, but it would help. So so we'll get our storage bus, and let's go ahead and, where's my dolly at? Right here. Okay. And no, not in here. Let's run over here. Well, I don't actually have cobblestone set up in a barrel, but we'll use the smooth stone for an example of how this works. So, if you have large amounts of items like stone, cobblestone, sand, especially once we start running a quarry, it's definitely useful. What we can do is, oh yeah, my flux cable's here. Let's get a bit of this. You can attach one of these storage buses to the back of it, and you can set this up. We're going to tell it to partition the storage. That way it takes what's already in this and sets it as the only thing that's allowed in there. So in this case, stone. And we're going to go ahead and set the priority up. I usually do about 2,000. So that way it's generally always going to deposit smooth stone into here, you know, as long as there's space and everything. Then we'll bring our Fluix cable over and hook it in. And if you notice, we now have smooth stone in the system. So the way storage buses work are they will input and export from the attached inventory. So in this case, the barrel. If you use an import bus, that will only import items into the system from that location, and an export bus will only export items from the system into the target inventory. So definitely something to keep in mind. The next thing that I want to add on to this system really quick to show you guys, it's one of the things I would definitely suggest you get pretty quickly. Do we already have these in the system? I can't recall. Yes, we do. So we'll just grab one of these because it don't matter. And we are going to set this yeah, we'll set it right here. That's fine. And let's get ourselves, oh, you know what I didn't think about? This ender chest is white. So we're gonna have to make a specific like color. Let me see. Tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna use lapis. Oops, I don't need that much of it. I'll take a stack, whatever. Takes up as much space as one, so. And we'll do this as blue. Now keep in mind, if you're on a server, you can lock these with a diamond so other people can't access your ender chests. I would suggest that if you're on a server, you know, even if you pick an off-the-wall color that nobody's probably going to think of, it's still worth setting up to be locked. So the next thing that we're going to want is going to be an ender pouch. Now let me see if I have leather on hand. I do not. So let me go grab some really quick. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut camera for just a second. And while I go out and try to find some cows, and I'll be back in just a moment. Oh, okay, welcome back. I've got everything we need for that, so... funny story, we did have it in the system already. I didn't even think to look there, and I went to scan it after I got leather, and it was like, oh, I've already got this, so... Alright, so that's got our ender chest. Now, if we open it now, you know, we'll see all that charcoal that's in the system. But we're going to come over here, we're going to shift right-click it onto this chest. And so now we'll access that chest. You notice it even opens and stuff when we open the pouch. So, what we're going to do is we are going to put an import bus. I don't know why I'm opening it up here. So let's get ourselves one of these import buses. We will need a sticky piston. So that's not an issue at all. This. Honestly, I feel like if you had this transmutation tablet set up right next to your AE system, like that would be where you do everything. Like if you just had those two, it'd be great. So our import bus, we'll get that. And we'll attach it onto here, put our Fluix cable here. So now what's going to happen is anything that goes in this chest is going to just immediately get imported into the system. So we've actually got something in here that I have no clue. What's in here? Redstone. Didn't I partition that other one for redstone? Or did I not? Let me check it. I did not. Okay. My mistake. Okay, so now what we can do, if you notice there's no redstone in there or anything, we can just open up our pouch, throw our redstone in there, and it's getting pulled out. And if you notice, it's going into our system now. So it is rather slow, which, you know, if you're out in the world exploring or whatever, you know, it's not really an issue that that you need it to be really, really fast. Oh yeah, it's acceleration. But for us, you know, if we can make it faster, let's make it faster, right? So let's go ahead, not make a couple of these. Oh yeah, we don't have diamonds in here yet. So let me go grab some diamonds. And yeah, we'll take all of them that's left. Eventually, hopefully between this episode and next, that room will be gone fairly soon. But, right now I'm stuck using it. Alright. So we'll get our diamonds in there, and let me double check this. Okay. And we'll get our advanced cards. Now, let's go ahead and make 4 of these. And with these we can make these acceleration upgrades, and I do believe, okay, it's limited to 2 with the import-export buses. So we'll get 2 of those. We'll throw them into here. And you can also, with this, you can whitelist like what can come in, things like that. We're just going to leave it as is. We want everything to, you know, go into the system. But anyway, now if we take, let's grab just a bunch of stone. Okay, so if you notice it pulled it from the barrel, we can take all this stone, throw it in there. And if you notice, it's doing it like about a half stack at a time. And it's all going into our barrel. So everything's working as intended with that. So that's pretty much our basic setup. We'll keep building onto the storage and whatnot, adding onto it and all that good stuff. What's in here? Oh, that's right. Those advanced cards. And then once these fill up, since we don't have anywhere else for it to go, because this is just stone, it will just kind of stay in the chest. So you can kind of keep an eye on when your system starts getting backed up, because you're always going to have this pouch on you, and you can always open it up. And we'll be using it quite a bit, you know, in the upcoming episodes and stuff. So I think that's going to be it for this episode. You know, we've kind of got the basics started of an applied energistic system. Next episode, we will start with auto crafting, getting that set up, maybe some auto processing and all that. So for now, you know, I want to start getting everything moved over from there and add on to the storage space and everything, and hopefully get rid of our storage drawer design. Because, I mean, this was good while it lasted, but it was really, all in all, it was just a temporary thing. So, because it's kind of bulky, honestly. Where this, I mean, we can store a ton of items. If you were to make the bigger sales and stuff, I mean, you can store a ton of items with just a small, you know, one controller setup. Because we're going to set up, later on, once we, you know, get ready for it and everything, we're going to set up Super Soaring drives and all that good stuff. So we'll have a bit of fun with this, just like I have been in my Sky Factory series. So just wrapped up doing an AE system over there as well. So, but we'll have some fun with it. So I hope you guys join me for that next episode. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, as always, please comment, like, subscribe. Very, very much appreciated. And you guys are awesome. And I appreciate all of you that have been doing that. So, and I hope you guys join me for next episode. So until then, do take care, and I hope to see you then.